what's up, y'all? So today, that's upside down. But today, I figure I don't have anything else to do, so I'll go ahead and give y'all a review on this Quickjack setup. I've had it for a couple weeks now. I did enough work with it, so I figure I know enough so I can talk about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring the vet in and get this thing set up. All right, so if you're looking to get one, they got, I think it's 2 or 3 different power options, but I got the simple one. So all you gotta do is plug this up. So plugged up, that's that. You got this controller right here, which is your up and down. So hold this to the side. And then you just got these 2 hydraulic hoses, one for the left, one for the right. It's got quick connects, so it doesn't take but a minute. This one plugs into this one. Once you get it hooked up, this little part is gonna slide up and you just twist it. That way the ball can't, to where the ball is not lined up with this. So you need 2 hands to put them together, so give me just a second. So that's hooked up. Just make sure it's twisted away from that. That's how you know it's locked. So same thing with the other side. And when you get this set up, you want to have it in a spot to where you, and I got this locked in place like this so I wouldn't roll over it. But you want to have it set up to where you don't drive over the actual hose or these ramps. You're not supposed to drive on top of these. You'll tear it up because you'll be driving all on that. So don't drive on these. Don't drive on the hoses. But yeah. So just like that, you are set up and it's time to bring the car in. Now, since this car sits low, I think the back is a little bit higher, like high enough. The front is a little iffy with those jack and pucks in there, which you can see them there. So when I get this in, I'm gonna have to lift this up just a little bit or drive on top of some blocks if you got some. That'll give you just a little bit of clearance to fit these under the car. And you want to have good clearance for this to fit under there because you need to be slightly above it to slide these in under the car. And you also need it to have a little space between the car so this can build up pressure on the way up. So you want to make sure you got enough space on this between the body and the car because you don't want to end up having your side skirts laying on this metal frame right here either, because then they'll be getting pressure that they shouldn't be getting, and you can you'll end up with like some bending or whatever of the plastic side skirts. So just some stuff to know, but let me pour this in and get some blocks under the front. All right, so this is what I was talking about with low cars. And keep in mind, this is the 7,000 pound jack. So if you have the 3,500 or the 5,000, you got a little bit more space because it doesn't sit up as tall as this one. But anyway, this is what I'm talking about. So lifting just the car, this would probably be fine because you got, this much space or whatever. But since I'm trying to use these jacking pucks because, I done bought them now, so I'm trying to use them every time I jack this car, you need a little bit more space. So in the front, where is it? There we go. So as you can see, that's about the exact same height. So I'm gonna break out the regular jack and put some blocks or something under these wheels. I don't need much, maybe like a 1/2 inch of height. If you go up a 1 inch, that's great. But what it's looking like, a 1/2 inch will be just fine. So that'll get me enough clearance to slide this under here comfortably without it touching the parts that I'm trying to slide under. So let me go ahead and put some blocks under here, and I'm gonna find some 1/2 inch blocks somewhere, and then we can get this in the air. I about had a mini heart attack. I looked down and saw this and thought this was my phone on the ground. I don't know what this old mirror went to. Man, I thought I almost lost it, y'all. All right, so now the car is on blocks. Just some little 3/4 inch pieces of wood I had laying around. I only got them under the front, but that's enough for everything. So a smarter me, next time I'll just lay some blocks out before I bring the car in the garage and just drive on top of them. So that'll save a bunch of time. But anyway, got my lift in place, got my rubber blocks in place. The metal pucks are in place. So all that's left now, just grab your remote, hold it the right way so y'all can look at it. But yeah, and you lift. And it's got 2 lift settings, which it'll lock in place down here. Alright, so once you get it to this point right here, where this the metal foot or whatever of this arm is past this little triangle, you just press down and you locked in place. So give you plenty of room to change tires, change brakes, do oil changes, all of that stuff. But just in case you wonder, we're gonna go ahead and lift it up some more and we'll get to the full height. And keep in mind that this is the front. The back end had the paintings and pictures and all of that on the back. The car is gonna move towards the back once you lift it up. So make sure you got space behind these ramps. There. So we're all the way lifted, and this is what we're working with. So plenty space to get under here. Like I said, both lifts are locked and secured. Plenty space to do exhaust work if you choose to. We just dropped the transmission out of a Camaro. We just put it back in yesterday, so I put some pictures of that up here, but plenty of room for that. You can do suspension work, all of that. The only downside is the lift is on the side, so you can't slide sideways to get in here and do any work. So everything you do, you have to pretty much either come from the front or come from the back. But that's not too big of an issue, seeing how you got all this space. And what is in here? My little harmonic balancer that I put on, which would have been great to have that this lift set up when I did that, because the exhaust had to come off for that too. So exhaust has to come off to get the starter off. So that sucked. And then yeah, all the steering rack and all that stuff had to come out. So terrible job to do on jack stands. Possible, but terrible. But this is what you're working with. So you can get under here. It's a little greasy under there. But easy access to do oil changes. You can change exhaust. Like I said, suspension work, all of that. And I'm just on the ground. But you might want to invest in a creeper. So I got one, but it's somewhere else. But get you a creeper the way you can slide under there comfortably without laying on the floor. But yeah, definitely worth the money. And like I said, if you got the 3,500 or the 5,000, you shouldn't really have to jack anything up, because I think those sit about a ½ inch lower than these, but whatever. And it comes with those are the small lift blocks that are in there. You also get the bigger ones, and they have an option to get these adapters, which are great if you're lifting up something a little bit higher. So, and these can be taken apart, so you can lift something with an extra little stand about that high, or you can go to full. I think this is 5 inches, so I don't know what this is extra, but either way. And when we did the Camaro, we had to set up like this because the side skirts on their car drop a lot lower than the pinch well mounts. So to make up that difference, we went ahead and did these. Same deal, we had to get that car on some blocks or whatever in the front just to get it high enough for this to slide under. But yeah, great investment if you plan on doing a lot of work under a car, or if you need to be taking your wheels on and off a lot. Perfect to have, and super fast shipping. It came like 3 days after I ordered it, 2 days, something like that. Like, came real quick. So definitely a great investment. Once you get everything set up, super easy to take apart, put together, slide out the way. So great to have, and hopefully this little review helped you out. Oh, and to let it down, you just lift up until this little piece, the silver piece, gets past the lock. So you go up a little, and you just lay this back down. So I think that might be the only thing that I wish would have been different, would be the more hands-free version of that. But you just move that back, and once you have that down, you're free to let the lift back down. And all that does is just lift this angle back so it can glide without that little leg right there catching onto that piece. So it'll just glide right over that. So that's what you're doing when you do that. And just like that, your car is back on the ground, and you haven't worked up a sweat. So that's all I got for y'all today. I hope that helped, and yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one. And just real quick so y'all can see how this disconnect works. But once you line that up, just squeeze, and you are disconnected.